Afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Exploring the Ka. This is my YouTube channel. Of course, my name is Castaldo. Going to be doing a quick video right here, also to give you guys updates so you're aware of what's going down later tonight. Make sure you hit that like button and support me here. Hey, what's up, Killian, in the chat room? And for those that don't know, of course, I have my custom copper jewelry and healing tools that you can get at themysticalspiralstore.com and themysticalspiral.com. And these are my custom The Mystical Spiral products. So I have the one named The Mystical Spiral that has to do with my crystals and my products, my copper products, my spiral sacred light technology copper spiral products, Taurus technology products, and my products are custom made under my business name is The Mystical Spiral. So that's my specific custom copper products, The Mystical Spiral. But I also have my own cosmic viewing platform now for those that want to support me and join. So not only do I have Exploring the Ka here on YouTube, and not only do I have the Eye of Ra Soul Station Radio on the Truth Frequency Radio Network, which is every Saturday night. I do a live radio show on internet radio, and it's also broadcasted on iHeartRadio, TuneIn, TalkStream Live, all these various platforms from 7 to 9 Eastern every Saturday night on Truth Frequency Radio. I also have my Patreon, where I have my cosmic viewing platform. And I think there are other, my, of course, information is specifically unique to me, of course, because it's coming from me. But I think there are a few other I hate to use the word remote viewing because it's a little different than that. That's why I'm using my own term. I guess I would call it cosmic viewings, because I'm viewing cosmic movements, things that have to do with Earth and all the other planets and objects within our cosmos, right? So I would call them more like viewings of cosmic movements, right? And I have on my Patreon what I call the Quasar Network. This is my cosmic viewing platform, and I'm currently writing a book that is part of this, and it's called the Taurus Talk Papers. And this is part of the Quasar Network. So you could get the Quasar Network right on my Patreon, and literally could join my Patreon for as low as $2 a month. Of course, there's higher platforms that get you more things, like email readings and free gifts and things like that. But you can literally join for as little as $2 a month, and I put, a few times a week, there's information on there, and I go more in depth than I can here, because I could put like pictures and diagrams and all stuff like that. And I put a lot of my special information. Well, recently, I'll give you guys another peek into some of my cosmic viewings. And, I'm friends with certain astronomers out there. You guys have seen certain videos I've done with famous astronomers. One of the most famous in the world, of course, is Professor Chandra. And he's been on my show several times, and I've built a friendship with him over the last few years. And I haven't asked his opinion yet on this, but I'm going to ask his opinion to find out if it's even possible, right? I was shown by viewing Sirius C. Now, we know about Sirius A, right? Sirius B, of course, unseen, a white dwarf. I think that's what it would be called, right? The Dogon of Africa knew about the Sirius B, even though I think they called it Digitaria, right? And hopefully I'll be able to even interview Robert Temple, famous author of the Sirius Mystery and the Sphinx Mystery and various other books, the Oracles of the Dead, all these books that I've read, because he's a good, close friend of Professor Chandra. and they both live in the UK. And so hopefully Professor Chandra will be able to set that up, because I'd really like to interview Robert Temple about Sirius, right? So they talk about Sirius B being Digitaria, but the Dogon also hinted and talked about a Sirius C, right? And so this mysterious Sirius C, I was doing a viewing on this and seeing what would come to me about this, and I literally was shown that Sirius C is our sun. Now, I don't even know if this is possible. I don't think anybody else has ever said that before. If they have, I sure the hell didn't copy them. So if somebody else has said that prior to me out there, you know, kudos to you, because I'm tapping into something that you felt way before me then, you know. But I never really put much thought into Sirius C before, time or effort like that. You know, I've read about it before here and there in the Sphinx Mystery in different places, but I was shown that it's most likely possible, I think, that the Sirius, with everybody, with the Dogon and you know, the Dogon were said to be from the ancient star people or spirit people called the Nommo, right? So the Nommo, the legends have it that they say they come from Sirius C, but really that wouldn't make sense, because Sirius C isn't a planet. Sirius C is a sun or star, right? So maybe they came from a habitable planet that's around Sirius C, or some sort of dimension that exists around the Sirius C, a solar system around Sirius C. So if Sirius C is our sun, Earth, or planets within our inner solar system would technically be part of that system from the Nommo. So the Nommo most likely come from Earth, or a planet from our inner solar system. And if Sirius C is our sun, then that would be correct what the Dogon are saying about the Nommo. That, yeah, they do come from Sirius C, because that's our sun. Right? And they come from a planet habitable around that sun. Right? So that's very interesting. Right? Very, very interesting. And, wow, yeah, Esma's got the harmonizer. Yeah, I had somebody else just get a harmonizer. I'm going to be restocking with all new harmonizers. Those are really the best products. And right now, I have a handheld harmonizer on my website that's for sale. And actually, if you guys use End Summer 20, you'll get 20% off of everything still. I've still left it active, because the reason why I did this is because you don't know what's going to happen. And if you're trying to get stuff for holidays, I'd get it stuff now, because who knows what's going to happen during holiday time with shipping and everything else with the post office. It's changing by the minute, you know. So I would get stuff now. So I made a discount so people can try to get what they want. I have handheld harmonizers that literally are just as strong and powerful as the big ones, but the big ones have a longer range. That's all I can say. The strength is just as slamming, right? But the bigger ones will have a longer range of effect. That's all. But the strength is just as, actually, I feel like the smaller ones give a bigger, that one specific, just, I think how the way it's twisted and just how it came out, the handheld ones that I got, I think just somehow that they're more powerful, actually. They have more of a hard punch. It's more compact and hard punch, but they don't sustain as long as that punch at far. But yeah, I even have necklace harmonizers, for those that don't know. And they're actually, the harmonizer is attached to the copper infinity symbol. So, and it's a necklace. So those are really dope. I mean, and you could, you know, you don't have to use it as a necklace. You can hang it on your rearview mirror if you wanted. You could put it anywhere. They're even made so if you wanted to put one around your dog's collar, you know, things like that, or hang it near the Wi-Fi or something like that. But yeah, I have all sorts of things on there. It's Taurus technology, man. This is what the universe is. We're a bunch of Taurus within Taurus within Taurus. Even down to the very cells of our body have torus fields around them. Each individual cell. Our whole biofield is a net of tori. A bunch of tori within one big torus field. Like, literally. And they're spinning like around you. It's like a big friggin' donut net spinning in on itself. And literally, we can superimpose our torus field, our torus sphere, right? We can superimpose that in our minds on the torus field of the Kuiper Belt and the Oort cloud and of galaxies. All right, it's all connected. You know, all of everything that's in the cosmos is within our neural network. It's all there. It's all connected. And yeah, I was shown that Sirius C is our sun. I don't know if this is even possible, so I want to ask Professor Chandra if, hey, could it be possible what they say Sirius C is? Could it be our sun? Because what? I mean, Sirius A and Sirius B, I mean, they're not too far off. To me, it's kind of plausible. Also, we're going to be doing a show tonight. And I'll be posting a link on my Patreon. I just don't know what time yet. I've actually been doing physical work all day, so I want to go eat and take a little break. But I just stopped here real quick to do the video. I was around the corner working at my dad's today too. So what was I going to say? I'm going to be doing a broadcast tonight because actually I don't know if I should reveal the actual information until it's in my book. But like, so hard to hold back. I recently, within the last few weeks, made one of the most intense discoveries I've ever made by doing these viewings. And I put in a good 200 or 300 hours over the last few weeks. Like, I mean, I literally a few days in a row, I was barely, you know, I was just with my daughter, and when my daughter would sleep, I would just spend hours you know, looking for evidence of what I suspect, and looking for a certain word and name that came to me in ancient writings of the Egyptians, like within the Litany of Ra, and within the Amarna letters, and actually even certain Ugaritic translations as well. I was shown something very special related to the Sphinx, what's beneath the Sphinx, and a certain star and star system. And it's in fact, it's really intense because most experts and most ancient Egyptologists actually say this star that I discovered, an intense connection, and I think it goes even deeper with an intense technology as well. Ancient Egyptians, the experts about ancient Egypt, I'm saying, and Egyptologists, actually, the majority of them, if not all of them, assume and actually state as fact in a lot of their writings that ancient Egypt had no knowledge of this star that I'm talking about. I'm not going to reveal it right now, but the certain star that I'm talking about, they said ancient Egyptians had no knowledge of this star because it wasn't in their night sky. You know, it's actually a star that's below their horizon, below 33 degrees. You know, this star doesn't get shown. It gets shown in the southern hemisphere. So people assume because it wasn't in the sky of the ancient Egyptians, that of course that they had no knowledge of it. But come on, I mean, if some of the stuff that I'm saying is even half correct about the ancient Egyptians, them having knowledge of transferring bacteria and DNA and genetic cloning, and knowledge of comets and all this stuff, if even just a fraction of that is true, why wouldn't you think that they wouldn't be able to have knowledge of a star that wasn't technically in their sky, that was below there? I mean, come on. I mean, if somebody can build the pyramids like they did, then I think they would have they can actually figure out other things as well. So I think it's naive for people to make those kind of statements. And I did a lot of digging, and I actually found proof of them describing this star and calling it a very similar name to what we call it now. So this is truly amazing, and I'm really excited about this, actually, because oh man, it's just when things line up like that, it's just amazing. So let me see what's going before we call a break. The code is end summer 20. End summer 20 is the code. So I'll leave that up for a couple of more days. Yeah, Blavatsky, you know, to respond to regular girl in the chat room. Yeah, Blavatsky. I mean, granted, if you don't want to, you know, if you want to disagree with her personal belief system, that's fine. But the freaking knowledge and the fact that she was, you know, and not to sound prejudiced in any way, I really hope somebody wouldn't take it that way by me saying this. But for a woman during those times, it was amazing to be able to do what she did. To travel all over the world and get knowledge and be able to even spend time with some of these sages, right? It was very uncommon for a woman to be even allowed to do that during the 1800s, right? So just the fact, I need to point the fact about that, what she accomplished, the knowledge she was able to accumulate, the places she was able to go, the Tibetan Himalayas and certain places in India, like, you know, the ancient Benares, Varanasi, and different places like this, right? And that to me was truly amazing, that just accomplishing that. Not let alone she wrote The Voices of Silence, which is a smaller book that most people don't know about. She also, of course, wrote Secret Doctrine, Book 1 and 2, and of course Isis Unveiled. And you know, these are books that changed my life. Reading these books I've been reading them literally for over 25 years. And you know what? I read them when I was just leaving high school. Early college was the first time I completed both books in the mid-90s. And I thought I understood a lot of it then, but then I reread it like 10 or 15 years after, again, later on, and then I was like, okay, now I actually understand it on a deeper level, some of the information, you know. So what I thought I understood 15 years ago, when I read it again, it had a whole new meaning to me. And yeah, she had some amazing knowledge. I mean, the stuff that a lot of people are talking about, acting like it's new information now, to the Nephilim and all this stuff, man, she was on that ages ago, you know, 200, over 100 years ago, way over 100 years ago, right? So, Taurus. When I say Taurus, I mean Taurus, like a Taurus, you know, a spinning Taurus. That's what I mean when I say Taurus. Wow, Susan, I would love to compare notes as well. This is what my Patreon is for. So on my Patreon, we're going to be discussing things like this. And the Sphinx is going to be a big discussion. Right, so this is what the Patreon is for. And a lot of times when, you know, sometimes because of the baby, sometimes I gotta change the time. But a lot of times when I make those Patreon private chats, nobody's in there, because sometimes it's spur of the moment, of course, and people aren't checking their email to get the notice. So I don't blame anybody. So a lot of times I'll end up going live on YouTube, because then at least some people will be there. But yeah, so if you're there tonight, Patreon, like, I might end up going live on YouTube if nobody's around to join in the Patreon and talk a little bit about it there. But the Patreon is where I really want to focus on the more information, you know. So I'm not just giving it out all over there, because I have found many people use my information, and they don't give me a shout out and say that I inspired what they were talking about and things like this. So that's unfortunate. And you know, one thing I do is that I will talk about, if I'm talking about information out there, you could just ask me. I'll usually say the author's name or whatever if I'm quoting somebody else's information, you know. So also on my Patreon, I do weekly book recommendations. I've done probably over 100 book recommendations already on there. So a lot of cool stuff on there. So I got the Quasar Network Cosmic Viewing Platform, and I have the Mystical Spiral products. And I also have the Exploring the Ka right here on YouTube, and the Eye of Ra on Truth Frequency Radio. So all these different ways, and I have so much free information at themysticalspiral.com, everybody. So really interesting stuff. Yep. You know, that's how our free will has been violated. The hybridization on our planet, I really feel the creativity of free will that's where free will, the very cohesion of the particles of fabric of creation that keeps things together is related to that frequency. And in this dimension, I think it's been violated, literally. And it will, even though we're only a little fractal in the grand scheme of the universe, I think we have thrown an imbalance off with our dimension. We literally have thrown an imbalance off in the harmonicus. And I hate to try, I hate to use some of these words because people might think I'm sounding new agey, but these are ancient. This is the best way for me to describe it when I say a harmonic higher density evolution. Because that's what we're ultimately here for, right? Right? For our soul to evolve and go to higher worlds, right? Right? That's what, so I would call that a higher, since we're built into harmonic light fields, this is how we exist, right? This is what we live upon within this holographic harmonic energy grid, right? Since we exist in this, I would say that the ultimate reason for sentient life would be for us to have a harmonic, higher evolution and higher density progression. And I feel this is the problem with our dimension, is that we are in a lower state of existence, and we are not currently on a higher density harmonic evolution. We're stuck within cosmic slime. We are stuck within viral data. A sludge, a goo, a black goo, a slime that's around our dimension, veiled around our very souls. And you should be getting tingles from the back of your neck all the way up to your head when I say things like that. Like that your body should respond to that truth. And I truly believe that what we are right here on this dimension is only just a fractal, fragmented fractured piece of our overall higher consciousness. Literally. Just a little portion of who we are. And like any cosmic data virus, we replicate and replicate until we swell in population. Right? And I think other higher beings from other forces of nature decided to come into this lower world and try to rule as gods as well at certain periods of time. And this is what created hybrids of who we are. Because originally I think we were here as one. You know, we were here as one. And eventually other sentient beings came into this realm and began to rule and change our DNA. Now we are these hybrids. We are many forms of being in one. right? And so if you want to say we're part of the Adamic, or the Adam, the man, the Adam man, right? We are like fractured fragments of Adam, right? All these little replicated versions of Adam, hybrid versions of all these different creatures, right? All these different beings within Adam. So if Adam had a job to do, now he's got all these replications to make up for too, to pull ourselves back up through the loop of time that we fell through, the higher density that we fell from. Pull us right back through the loop of the torus field, back up to Eden, back up to the coordinate that we fell from. And I think that heaven that we fell from, if you want to call it heaven, a higher existence, a higher dimensional existence, right? If you want to say, call it heaven or a higher dimensional existence or whatever, I think when we fell, we lost the coordinate to that higher Stargate. Then Jesus came back to give us those coordinates, to point us the place of the Stargate within the cosmos. Because we can't see it. It's covered with slime. And souls are stuck within it. That's the best way I can describe the way I see things. And the way some of us are able, certain little trickles. We're only getting little trickles of divine light, of higher information that are falling through the holes within the slime. Little trickles from the higher divine cosmic intelligence. We're only getting little drips of that cosmic rain that come to us telepathically through our creativity and things like this. But we need to open that faucet, the floodgate, so it's like a wave of higher dimensional DMT that hits the planet. To open up the Taurus gate, the spinning Taurus gate of divine light. Shit, it might even be in the Sombrero galaxy. That's one of the things that have came to me, and it might be throughout the whole, even like somewhere in the Tarantula Nebula, these star-forming regions. But yeah, I gotta go, guys. I will post on my Patreon the time for tonight. Also, I'll be live on Truth Frequency Radio tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern. Thank you guys for joining me. Go to the mysticalspiralstore.com and Summer 20. You get 20% off. I'm trying to do a clearance of all the products so I can restock it. So some of the stuff is sold out because I don't have no copper left to make them. But there's some stuff left that it's, oh my God, it's so worth it, guys. You could change your life with sacred light technology. They last a lifetime. Sometimes the copper gets dirty after a while. You could clean it, right? I could show you how to clean it just with water and tomato sauce mixture. Dip that in the wool, dip that in stuff to be able to like circular scrub it. And the crystals, of course, unless you smash it, they last forever, right? And I have top of the grade crystals, and a lot of them are sacred charged. So at sacred locations like megalithic dolmens and things like this. So check it out, mysticalspiralstore.com. And thank you guys. I really appreciate you. Let me see what's in the chat before I go. Yeah, there's actually thinking of singing crystals reminds me of the singing statue. There's this, I think only like one or two of them are left, but during the 18th dynasty, Akhenaten's father was, of course, Amenhotep III. Akhenaten being originally Amenhotep IV. Amenhotep III, his father, also, you could call him Amenhotep III or also Amenophis III. It's just the interchangeable name. But during his reign, he made these colossal statues of himself, right? And then after his reign, there was a huge earthquake that hit the area. And then because of the earthquake, it did something to the statue, maybe like the way the wind came in or something. But the statue would actually like sing afterwards, almost like a Tibetan bowl. And then one of the, some ruler came in. I don't know, he was like from Rome or some other ruler came in eventually and did a repair on the statue, and it never made that sound again. It never sang again. But I thought that was very interesting that there was like a mega earthquake that caused it to do this harmonic resonant frequency about it. I think that can't be a coincidence. That was like set in stone to do that. I thought that's very interesting. But guys, thank you for joining me again. I mean, where else on YouTube can you get so much information in a short period of time? It's right here at Exploring the Ka. And of course, I'm Castaldo. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night, and love the guys, love your family, and tell everybody that you love them, and spiral out.